So I know a lot of spiritual people are interested in crystals, and I really love using crystals, so it's worth talking about on, if you're on your twin flame journey or you're just seeking to heal your vibration, are crystals like really the way to go? And I guess my answer, maybe this is going to be shocking to you, for a crystal video that is on the subject, but I'm going to say no. They're not. They're not essential, right? Like the divine's love is essential, and just being with God, with spirit, is what is really essential to healing and to coming into alignment on your twin flame journey. And so you could theoretically completely, come into union and complete harmony with your twin flame without ever touching a crystal. But on the other hand, crystals are like rocks, and they're kind of everywhere, right? Like, like we eat salt crystallized, and minerals are very prevalent. They're also in our diet, so you don't really escape minerals. We're also made of minerals. Not our spiritual bodies, but our physical bodies are. And so, then on that side, yes, you do need crystals, actually. So, is the answer yes or no? Well, the answer is crystals are fun, and let's talk about them and how, if you're interested, truly have a desire in your heart to interact more with crystals, or you already are and you just love them so much, that's completely safe, right? Like there's nothing wrong with like taking time to paint and be creative, just like there's nothing wrong with doing something with your crystals, or even utilizing them energetically for something, letting them inspire you, letting the divine come through this beautiful object that's like on earth and like in formation, right? Like crystals are, I don't know a ton about geology and how like the inner workings of all that, but I know they take quite a bit of time. Most crystals, and then different kinds of environments, right? And a lot of them come from more underground and so on and so forth. So that's like a whole, another very interesting subject if you want to learn more. But yeah, there's a few crystals that can be really wonderful for your twin flame journey that I thought I would talk about, just to entice you to get to then study further. And of course there's just so many, right? And the first one I wanted to start with was rose quartz. And I recently did a painting about rose quartz, and was channeling the energy. And something that I've always gotten from it, even as a kid, like I just really loved rose quartz. I loved how it seemed just intuitively to me as a child to be like easy to find, but there's something really like deep and rich about it, like almost feels like satisfying to a part of my soul. And it's very heart opening, right? It's like this light pink color, so, and even kind of goes then into your outer heart, like if you were to see your heart opening up, and like petals kind of going outwards, and it could be like the outward petals that are kind of like touching the, you know, the love that you're feeling through your heart chakra and your reality. And at the same time, rose quartz is also grounding, right? Like it's soft, and it's got some hints of red in it, right? Pink is white and red mixed together, and red is the root chakra color, and I think that really speaks to rose quartz. And something else that this brings up is sometimes you don't need to overthink crystals, right? Like you don't need to know everything there is to know about a particular crystal in order to pick up on the energy of it, because you're already attuned as a divine child of God to like interact with different things on this earth that are here. Like there's nothing separate from your inner reality and your outer reality. So if there's something in your reality, however it got there, and especially hopefully it's not through like you doing it through some kind of control. And what I mean by that is like kind of being like, I'm only gonna feel good if I have crystals all around me, you know, and being like somehow controlling about it. But if you're attracting things into reality, that also doesn't mean you're manifesting them out of thin air. You're probably buying crystals or maybe finding some of them. But yeah, if that's coming from the right place within you to do that, and it's a sustainable thing for you to do to the extent that you're doing that, then great, that's perfect. And you're then like attracting the right crystal for you into your reality. And again, not controlling. Like sometimes, you know, you might have a desire to have a specific crystal, and then you go to the crystal store and you end up with two other ones and they don't have that one. And it feels really good, right? So it's really about just being open to how you actually like feel about the crystal and the ones that you want to hang out with the most, right? Or maybe even just look at on the internet or whatever it may be. Maybe even a geometric, sacred geometry like depiction of a crystal. And sometimes certain crystals then are associated with like archangels and that energy. So you can kind of you can weave these different kinds of vibrations together. And there's flower essences too, and like they'll all kind of mirror each other, right? And then when you bring all of these, I guess, like pieces together, you know, you have something truly divine. But then these things unto themselves can be divine experiences. You know, it's a way for you to romance yourself, to ground yourself, to enhance your meditation practice. So like, you know, this is a way to feel wealthy in God's kingdom, in you know, like heaven on earth. So yeah, I guess let's move on to another crystal. And another crystal that I really like is lapis lazuli. And what I really love about that one, and I would kind of call it like a stone, I don't know, but crystal stone. I'm not sure like what would differentiate exactly, but yeah, it's very royal. It's like this deep blue color, so very, you know, it could be third eye, throat chakra oriented, and it can have to do with, you know, really like trusting the divine, like, but in a really grounded way. Like to me, it's very stabilizing, and it really has this feeling of royalty and wealth to it. Like I look at lapis lazuli and I just feel like I could be walking down like a palace hallway and it feels like that's mine, you know, that's for me, that vibration of true wealth. And it's a little bit dark, right? Like that stone, it can be like, it's a little bit of a dark blue. So there's just something really rich. Like blue was one of those colors, like back in the day, you know, making like a bright blue color. I mean, maybe some of it came from that. That would be fun to research more. But you know, like certain paints would be more expensive than others, and so on and so forth. So yeah, it's cool to think about like the colors of the stones, and that there's a certain kind of vibration that holds too. Yeah, so that feels complete to me. I guess the other thing actually that I would say about it is the grounding thing that I mentioned. Sometimes I feel like clearing your third eye can actually be very grounding, and there's something about lapis lazuli that like really speaks to that for me. Like I feel like I could walk on it, even though it's very oriented towards like that very clear kind of intuition, which is a very a wealthy state, right? When you have a third eye that's actually clear, and that you're not like getting I don't know what I want to say, beat up or whatever in like in stuff that's stuck there, you know, that's keeping you from actually like seeing the truth. Like that's there's like great abundance in that state, and having a clear mind, a clear intuition, clarity, and peace in that chakra, that area. And speaking of, you know, something similar, like a stone with some similarities, I would also say opal. Opal's another one of, you know, my absolute favorites, and Yogananda really loves opal. And Yogananda collected opal, you know, if you're into Yogananda at all, and you can, I guess if you're in LA, like I visited Yogananda's like lake shrine. I've only been there once, I think. And there's a great little collection of opals. I mean, it's a big collection, but they're not like, I don't know, little big. Yeah, there's just a really beautiful collection of opals there. And what was interesting to me was that I, you know, I'd read some of Autobiography of a Yogi before I went to the center, the lake shrine, one day, like a couple summers ago. And I remember sitting on the bench outside by the lake and having this experience where I really felt Yogananda's presence with me, because I was trying to meditate, and I was trying to ground myself, and my ankles were hurting, and it wasn't really happening, and it was something I'd been having some trouble with for some time, like how to properly ground myself. And what the divine like gift that I was given was that I don't need to do that. I can really let the divine move through me and let my energy just be grounded naturally. Like I don't need to force myself, to ground. And so when I like really released control there, I could ground much more deeply. But also what happened was I was really suddenly like, my third eye felt really clear and open, and to the extent where I like literally saw like within it. I guess it's a little hard to explain, but this was my experience. Like this kind of iridescent blue, white, even kind of glowing color. And it was just like the color of an opal, you know, I don't know what else to say, like a certain kind of opal. And I just felt that, and I felt perfect, you know, I really felt like perfection in that moment. And just talking about it now and sharing it with you who is watching and listening to this video, is, you know, it's really attuning me like to that moment. And yeah, it was very powerful and meaningful to me, like eternally, you know, like what an eternal gift. And so I then, like, you know, a little bit later finished walking around the lake, and I went into the like setup that they have in there, and that's where the opals were and what Yogananda had written about them. And I was like, oh wow, I just experienced the energy of opal, and I did not even realize that this was a favorite stone of Yogananda's at all. Like I had no idea, you know. Maybe I kind of heard it in passing somewhere. So it was a very real experience for me. And so yeah, I mean, opals are very beautiful. In my opinion, I mean, I love like that kind of iridescent quality and bright colors and things that somehow carry like a 3D quality within them. And opals do that for me. And there's something that really looks very twin flamey about opals too. And the harmony, like there's something very completing about it. The balancing of the colors from the light that's reflected in them, of you know, masculine and feminine energy there too. And yeah, it's just very beautiful, very divine stone. Yeah, so gosh, feels so good to talk about opals. I can't even believe it. And the last stone that I wanted to talk about today, there's so many, gosh. But yeah, the last one is citrine. And citrine to me is an important stone because it is really signifying abundance, and like your sacral chakra and throat chakra. I mean, sorry, not throat. Well, I mean, like, sure, you can relate the chakras to the other ones, but I meant your sacral chakra and your why am I like your solar plexus? I couldn't think of it. Maybe I have a block there. So yeah, anyway, your solar plexus chakra, like related to the sun as well, and that they're both very much about abundance. And your solar plexus is very much like your powerhouse. Sometimes I think of, you know, where like if your sun sign, astrological sun sign could like live somewhere, it would probably be in your solar plexus, as it's like the sun energy and like your power, your will carried out, but very much can be related to finances and feeling like you have power, I guess, over them, not in a controlling way, but like power to really call in your abundance and to manage it well. And so if you have issues with your own power, like you feel like you've been beat up there, abused there, you just feel powerless for whatever reason, it's something to look at really healing. And I think citrine can be a really nice way to complement doing that, to help you, and to inspire creativity. And creativity is another really important thing, like your sacral chakra. Well, that's also like your passion, like your sexual passion, mostly is that specific energy, and the same energy of like manifestation and like creativity, like artistic creativity, but whatever that means for you. I mean, not everyone is like a painter or something. Creativity can come in all forms, and you know, we all desire, well, hopefully, I think, to be balanced in our energy fields, which means that we're all creative beings, right? Like, it's not like some of us have have like sacral chakras and some people don't. No, everyone does. So yeah, citrine, I think, is a really great reminder stone of embodying that energy really peacefully and powerfully, and like letting that just, you know, come forth, and being able to share, being able to you know, radiate with that, and it's kind of I don't know, it just reminds me kind of like a liquid gold orange kind of energy. I don't know, there's just something really like scrumptious about it too. So yeah, and it's kind of like a playful stone, but it can be super healing, right? And I mean, of course, all of these things are just, these crystals are just things, again, like you have to do your own inner work spiritually to really see results. But like, yeah, I mean, I love crystals, and if you're watching this, you probably do too. And they are helpful, right? Like you can definitely like learn. They're just something to explore in your reality and to go deeper with if you feel called to. And so those are some of my favorites that I just mentioned, and there are, like, you know, a zillion more, not literally, but I mean, maybe if you include all the crystals on other planets in the universe, I don't know what's out there, right? Yeah, so that is quite the tangent. But anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this video and found it both enlightening and grounding at the same time. And yeah, you can check out my resources below for your spiritual and twin flame journey, and how to work with me if you'd like, or readings that I do as well. And I will see you again soon. Take care. Bye.